Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Daily Live. It's Monday, the 7th of April. All of a sudden, I can hear voices that weren't there 1 second ago. Hope you're all well. Another game that Everton didn't lose. Back to not getting beat after losing the derby. I don't know how to dress it up. Took a decent point off a good side without playing particularly well.
King of the draws.
I don't think we were terrible, but you could see that the lack in quality.
We were terrible in the first half.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were terrible.
It was midfield. Midfield couldn't get anywhere near them. But then again, Arsenal weren't great, so it was just a bit of a. It looked like the final game of the season.
It's going to. Well, it wasn't any worse than Man City yesterday playing Man United, and that's supposed to be a big derby, and that was absolutely woeful. So, it was at that end of the season feel about it, which is a bit weird considering what where Arsenal are in the league and sort of Everton fighting for every point. But I think both teams were Arsenal were happy to come off the pitch with no injuries. And Everton were just happy for a point. And once Everton got the equaliser, I think it was just about containment then, wasn't it? Never really going after them too much. Took Ndiaye off, and when he took Ndiaye off, he took really any opportunity of winning the game, I thought. So, yeah, I mean, listen, as I said, what was what it was. It's another point. It broke that thing up of, he didn't want another defeat, so it's 2 in a row, and then you go into Forest, which we all know is going to be a difficult game. So it's broke that up, and you can go, well, it's 1 defeat in 10 or 11, sorry, and it's back to being a bit more positive. So I don't think anyone really had any complaints or will have any real complaints about the game, because we're just at that stage of the season. And if anyone was worried that once Wolves beat Ipswich, if anyone was worried about that, then that put that to bed as well. So I think most people just hoping now that the last few games we can start to see different players, the players people want to see. You can start arguing over that now, who you want to see in the team, who should get a run out, who shouldn't get a run out. Start planning for the future. Do all that then.
What did you think of the penalty?
I thought it was a penalty in real time, and I still think it's a penalty. And I think someone put on Twitter yesterday an angle of it from behind. The lad, the ball goes over his head, and once it bounces, he's in trouble. Yeah. He's let Harrison go on the other side of him, and he drags him to the ground. Now, what I think actually makes it more of a penalty, and people might think this is mad, is the fact that Jack Harrison got up.
And the ball was in front.
The fact that he got up, as in to say, I didn't want to be brought down. I was brought down. To me, was the biggest indication that it was a penalty.
Yeah. There's no doubt. I thought it was listen, you can look at it and go, is it a soft penalty? Yeah. And all that. Possibly, but it's still a foul. He's impeded them. That's all it's about, and there's been more inquest over this than there was for a goal that was 2 yards offside the other night, and other ones that we've had. We've already had 4 taken off us this season, and 3 of them were 100% penalties. The Beto one in the West Ham game wasn't a penalty, and was the correct decision to take that off Everton, because it wasn't a pen. Kicked himself, but the other ones were penalties, and the other games we've had taken off. To me, that was a penalty. It doesn't matter whether it was a terrible tackle, because it doesn't have to be. A foul is you stopping the player doing what he was about to do, and Skelly fell on him. It was a foul. Whether he doesn't mean it's not even a thing of he 100% meant to bring him down. That's not even a thing either. He impeded him, and that's all it is. So you can say it might have been a soft penalty, whatever, but where's the scales been for penalties then? These soft penalty that you hear means there must have been something, otherwise it isn't a penalty. Do you know what I mean? For me, it was a foul. Arsenal fans can complain and moan if they want.
To be honest, I just thought it was the general sort of media sphere moaning more than anything else. I couldn't believe it. Gone to VAR again. We're allowing the game to be re-refed by the VAR.
Yeah.
And the players said this in aftermatch stuff. Players again dictating to the referee. You know, we'd seen it early on in the game with Trossard staying down in the box and to say, quick, you better check this, you better check this. I'm sick of that. I've said this loads of times. I'm sick of that more than I am with VAR.
By the way, why didn't he go down when Tarkowski challenged him?
But that's when he did go down.
No, he didn't. He went down and went on to Pickford.
Yeah,
then he went down and rolled around Pickford.
No, but he didn't actually touch him. That was the thing. He thought he could get the shot off, but yeah.
And then referees allowing fouls to continue. So Pickford makes a brilliant save and then gives a free kick and takes the save off Pickford.
Yeah,
make a decision.
He'll always have that save in his heart.
He will.
And we will.
You will. You will. And you know, again,
save.
You know, we had one robbed off us the other week against Manchester United.
What, a save or a pen?
A penalty.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd rather...
But that was more of a pen than that was.
I'd rather then say, OK, we'll have the penalty that wins against United. Arsenal, you can have that, because then they close the gap on Liverpool. And Everton would be a point better off, wouldn't we? They got 2, lost 1, so we'd have been a point further on. So, listen, it is what it is. It is what it is. Garrett says, "Hi lads, hope you're all well. I've watched it 15 times and it is a penalty. Poor Mikel." That was his thing, wasn't it?
Well, he moans about everything, and so be it.
It's like, I love a bit of the dark arts, but...
No, they're king of the dark arts.
They aren't they? They are
the king of the dark arts.
Considering they're such a good team, everything they complain about, every decision, they roll around when no one's in it. They stop the game, they kick the ball away. They're unbelievable at it, aren't they? For such a good side. And there's like, surely there's time and place to do it. Everton on it Saturday in April. It surely isn't.
It's obviously so ingrained in them that's just what they do. Mate, like the drinks break when they scored.
I know.
What the fuck are you doing?
That's Carragher's fault.
What are you doing? What are you doing? You can't see Virgil like that. He's a national monument.
Yeah, the shocker, didn't he, yesterday? All 3 goals. Dreadful.
Can understand.
Hey, go on, what's that?
Can understand why they won't give him the contact, right?
You can.
Sally. Both of them have gone.
I think, no, I mean, Salah's just can't be arsed, but Van Dijk's gone. Legs are gone. But anyway, back to Everton. But yeah, listen, you turn up and you hope that they'll be as creative, but you've got to sometimes take a step back and look at the opposition as well. And I know they didn't have the full side, of course, they've got injuries, but you've seen a difference in ability in midfield, I thought.
Yeah.
They're 3 in midfield. And obviously it went up a level when Odegaard come on. He didn't do much, but I mean, quality is quality. I love Odegaard, fantastic. But they're all of them brave on the ball, Arsenal.
And good on the ball.
And good. And you looked at Everton looked like we had 2 men on us every time we got a pass in midfield. And they looked like they didn't have anyone on them. And that was a difference in being able to take a ball. Yeah. Good first touch, ability to pick your head up.
I think we just like
the good side.
They're a lot better than we are. They've got a lot better players. Plays a lot more comfortable. Our midfield was. I thought Tim Idabounam had a poor game. And I just think he had a poor game, and I think because he was giving the ball away so cheaply, they were on him all the time, and it just got worse as the game went on. And he obviously rightly went off. First start in 6 months. So
take a bit of time.
He's going to take time, but he's not. I don't even think he's at that level though yet. So I think he's going to have more games. He's going to have to develop more, and it's an interesting one with him, because is he a kind of player that needs games to develop, or is it just rustiness or what?
I think it's just not playing. Decore's a bigger problem for me on Saturday. First half, he was way up, like miles off it. But
he's not really a problem though, is he? Because
look at his numbers. His numbers tell you.
No, but he's not really a problem though, because he's not going to be here next season. So he's not really a problem.
No.
So
but I'm just saying in terms.
But the manager loves him.
In terms of I know, but that for the first time, Moisey made no sense whatsoever with that comment. When you go and look at what he did and how much he gave the ball away. He didn't win a duel, I don't think, a ground duel, or it was too hard. Because I thought, I need to go and look at them numbers, because I didn't see that in the game. And when I looked, although the numbers did also, I give Garner man of the match, and he was nowhere near man of the match on the numbers, so I have to hold my hands up. But Decore, I thought I'd missed something. He was
but that's not an issue, because we know he's going at the end of the season, so that's not an issue.
No, but
with Idabounam is
not play for 6 months.
Idabounam is that's what they've got to decide, haven't they? They've got to decide what they're going to do. They're going to play more towards the end of the season, or are you going to or you're going to look at him and think, is there other routes we can go down? Maybe is he going to be someone who's going to be here next season? They're the decisions that are going to have to be made. He was very raw on Saturday, and he wanted far too much time on the ball, and
But I think that is a case of that is rustiness, though. Wanting that extra touch when you haven't played.
See, I saw that in the summer though, and I saw that in the summer as something in the pre-season where it's something that he has to. It's like he sees everything in front of him, but doesn't see the first person in front of him. So that's something they're going to have to. Is that something you can get out of him playing games in the Premier League? But see, that takes a lot.
Developing.
I know, but that takes a lot though. Or is that somewhere where you go stick him on loan?
7 games, haven't we? We've got 7 games that don't essentially are not really.
No, I know, but that's something.
Play.
That's some. I don't think he will play him personally. I think he might get bits and pieces. I can't see him starting many games.
He might do, but me personally, I'd play him because that's how you decide.
But don't you think though he's not? Like, I don't think
I honestly, I don't know what you get. No, but the core rate.
I'm not talking about the core rate. Forget the core rate. No, forget the core rate. We've got other players. We've got other players.
But who's going to play? Well, James Garner come on and done nothing.
Garner just sits. Garner will just sit in there. But I'm talking about the whole of the team, as in, like, you know, the makeup of the team. I think Irabunum can't play in that position anyway. I don't think he's that kind of player. Said it from the start. I think he's if you're going to play him higher up the pitch. Where he doesn't have that first player breaking him down straight away, where it ahead of him. You know, that's a decision they're going to have to make, whether they think he's good enough. Personally, I think we'll need better next season.
We need a midfield player who is better than all of the players we've got. That's just a fact. We need someone who can put his foot on the ball in that midfield and dictate the play a little bit. We don't have it. We have lads who are all very similar. We need better than James Garner. We need better than, you know, Irabunum at the moment. We need better than Alcaraz. We need better than Harrison Armstrong. Because that's a fact. That's how you get better. I'm just looking at these games now because that'll tell you whether or not he needs a loan to just play again, or whether how are you gonna try him higher up. On Saturday, he kept doing the first bit really well, and the second bit, he was just getting caught with the ball when there was a pass on. Good first touch, away from the first man, there's a pass on, go again, he just kept nicking it and putting us in trouble. So it's that moment of, I can't do that, I've got to get it and pass it, get it and pass it. And when the dribble's on, I can go and do it, because he can go by plays, and he's a good size, he's good strength. But I do think that when you haven't played for that long, you get caught because you forget how quick stuff is. These players don't give you that time. They don't. Especially someone like Arsenal. He's up against a very good midfield as well. He wasn't up against Southampton's midfield or Leicester or something. He's up against a really, really good side. So you have to almost be quicker. Get it and pass it quicker. I think that's why I'd like to see him play more games between now and the end of the season. Whether he will or not, I don't know. The manager might go, I'm not sure. I don't know. But he's a young player and he'll develop, and that's what we need. We want those young. I want to see the development in them rather than just continuing to put a player in midfield who's not going to be here. I don't. That to me is so short-sighted. I just don't get it. But we'll see. We'll see there. What did you make of Patterson?
I thought he had a decent game.
I thought he'd done all right. Considering he's on the wrong side, I thought he did okay.
Yeah, I thought he did okay. I thought,
not amazing. He wasn't amazing.
Two different players. I think that's sort of.
And I'm happy he got it right. Even though Young would have just gone, that's the Young mix. But I'm happy that he gave Patterson a go, because, again, a younger player, you're trying to make decisions on it. I thought he did. He only got dribbled past once. I thought he did okay overall.
He never, jumped in or anything, which I think was really important. I think for the most part, I think his concentration had to be more because he's on the other side. I think players always find that level. I think that's why Ashley Young plays better there, because you have to have more concentration.
Yeah. And who else was? Ndiaye was all right. He was in and out, wasn't he?
I thought he was excellent second half. Just thought he was very. Yeah, I thought he was excellent. Always give.
Even his numbers aren't good though.
Always give Arsenal players something to think about.
Well, he will, because he is capable of taking the ball, isn't he? I thought Alcaraz was good in patches and then faded from one side to the other. When he come onto there, he was started off brightly on the left, and when he come onto the right, it was like. I don't know whether he even touched the ball. I mean, you sent me McNeil's stats, which were very interesting. Didn't have a single stat.
There's not a stat.
And it's not, you can't not to have a go.
It just was hilarious.
A single stat.
I did say there's some.
But they did have the ball, didn't they? Yeah. They had the ball at that stage. But and I also thought, just an observation, I thought Jake O'Brien looked the most uncomfortable. He's looked at right back. Thought Martinelli.
But the goal was shocking from his point of view. He shouldn't be getting a shot off there.
No.
Keeper should do better also, but he shouldn't be getting a shot off there. Not a chance.
I mean, I don't know why Taki hesitated either. He should have just come to Sterling. It wasn't he? He should have come to him. He backed off and then put us in trouble. But these are all things that you learn, aren't they? They're all things that the manager can see and go, well, that's the level. They're like the top level.
The game wasn't like,
they didn't batter us.
The game was like when they scored, they didn't look that arsed at all. It was just like a breakaway.
They all wanted a drink. That's why he didn't look arsed. He was thirsty. You saw it. They all had to go over and get a drink.
Thirsty for some Goodison Park
love
action. Why wouldn't you be?
Yeah. No, listen. It is. Again, we've not learned that much, have we? We knew that the final third is an issue in terms of quality.
It's the same
Jack
problem.
Harrison worked his balls off, but you've got to have more there. Beto was all right in the first half and then faded like he does. Bros didn't really do much when he come on, but again, we didn't really use that because we were giving the ball away as well. So it's nothing really new. I was a little bit disappointed he didn't put Chimiti on. And I know, I know that he's again. Look, I think in David Moyes' head, he really wants to preserve Goodison. He wants us to have that unbeaten run till the end of the season. Which is fine. I think you need something driving you forward. You have to, and that's why I'm a little bit like when talking about just playing everyone. I think you have to have that drive to get you over the line. You have to have something to see your season. You have to have something to challenge the players with, don't you? Yeah.
You have to have something that keeps them on the toes. Otherwise, you're gonna have 7 weeks on the beach. And you can't have that. You've got to have some kind of drive that pushes all of your players forward.
Yeah.
And that you've got to in football. You've got to in life, haven't you? You've got to have that incentive all the time, whatever it is, for your own personal thing, whether it's normal people going on holiday or something. Yeah. You've always got to have that. And I think that thing is, we are not to be beaten at Goodison Park. And I think that's a really important
And the
thing.
next one will be tough, obviously. It's City, and we'll hope they turn up like they did yesterday, then we'll be all right. But Daniel says the best compliment we can pay to Patterson is that we didn't notice him too much, didn't run down any dead ends, didn't make any big mistakes or anything, so he did well. John Vance says, I'd like to see Irabuna, Alcaraz and Ndiaye have a few starts. The core is done. Garner's a very good championship player, and Guy should be allowed to rest his legs so we can see how others step up.
Who should be allowed to rest their legs?
Garner.
Not a chance.
We'd notice it, John, we'd notice it if Idrissa wasn't there.
Not a chance on earth.
You've got to you've got to look at it all, because you are trying to make decisions, aren't you, on players for next season as well. Hoyle433 YouTube member says happy with the performance we gave. Hopefully take all 3 against Forest. Be tough, but you never know. Semi Charm Life says just can't find enough goals to actually win games. But we knew that, didn't we? We had Beto scored us some key goals and we got away. Others haven't weighed in all season, and this is why the recruitment, you have to go and find lads who score goals. Yeah. You've got to, and if that means that you're going and taking a punt on a player who's doing it in Europe, or you're taking it in the Championship, maybe you have to have, though you've got to have that history of putting the ball in the back of the net, so that, because the ones we've got aren't doing it. But we've got no pace, and it was evident again on Saturday when you're trying to spring, and we won the ball a couple of times. There's just no pace. This was evident against Liverpool as well. The amount of times we nick the ball and there's nothing ahead, so you slow it down. They just get back round you. You're in trouble. But Arsenal's goal was about breaking a pace, wasn't it? Sterling and Trossard, that ends up in the net. We don't have it. And Ndiaye's not quick. He's good with the ball, and he's so, low centre of gravity, can go by players. And that's why we need it. We need something on that right hand side. Two players on the right hand side. Really, we need to bring in. one who's got probably a record of scoring goals and the other one who is a runner, just so you can threaten teams. And you look at the likes of, it was a great game on Saturday night, wasn't it? Villa Forest, brilliant game football. You look at them, both Forest wingers, don't forget, laughed when Everton went in for them because Sean Dyche was the manager, because they knew they wouldn't be used. No, but they know, as a footballer, you look at him and go, I ain't playing for you, because everything's in the air. It's what Onana said, it's what Iwobi said, Damari Gray, they all said it about Dyche. So that's why, but Hudson-Odoi and Alanga, they got them for 18.5 million, I think. 19 million combined. Both quick, both get shots away, get goals. And you've seen Forest breaking at pace, worrying Villa. Villa have got people like Rodgers and, in their side, Bailey, Watkins, they've got the pace when they spring from midfield. They're quick as well. And that's the modern game. They were two good sides. They're not unbelievable. Villa are a good side. Forest have been magnificent. They're not sides where you go, we're 10 years behind. Of course we're not. But they've got the right players in. With that pace, they play really good systems. And they've been brilliant this season, haven't they, the pair of them, and particularly Forest. And they were Midgey's cock away from an equaliser, Murillo, tremendous.
Really good second half.
Brilliant. They were brilliant, weren't they? I think it was 17 shots to 19 in the end.
Yeah.
A great game, and just open attacking football, brilliant to see. That's how you build a modern team.
Yeah.
And Everton is still built in it. Everton are built, let's be honest, built for Sean Dyche, sitting on the edge of the box and just trying to
you need pace.
Games out. You need
You've
pace.
got to have pace, haven't you? You can't get up the pitch without it.
No.
It's so obvious, and when people talk about some of our players, it's just like none of it matters without that pace. It really doesn't.
I just thought it was a real it was just glaringly obvious, the midfield. So not whether or not those midfield players, Declan Rice was 100 million, of course. When he was good Saturday, he wasn't amazing, but he was good. Jorginho coming to the end of his career, but still really good on the ball.
Good football.
Good football. Marino, good on the ball. Spanish, good on the... you look at those. But what I mean is he plays in a really good Spain team. He gets in there with that. No. All comfortable. Odegaard comes on brilliant. And you looked at us, and our lads will work and run all day for you. They leave everything. I can't look at them and go,
that shouldn't be something we talk about, though, should it?
But it's what we haven't had for years, though, Pat. We haven't had that. We've had a mix of some who do and others who look like they can't be asked. Or they do a false press for, once in a game, and everyone nearly wets themselves. So you've got to have players who do it all the time. And we've got that. We've got lads who are committed. But when you saw the quality when they were taking it in midfield and just popping it about, and the difference was we looked like we had no time on the ball at all, and they looked like they had all, particularly first half, they looked like they had all the time in the world to do whatever they want, which is why we couldn't get anywhere in that half. It was fleeting moments, wasn't it? Jake O'Brien should really hit the target with the header.
Yeah, bounces off him, doesn't it? Goes the wrong way.
And that's the other one. Was that one going in? I'm seeing it again. Was it a Beto header? And it hit O'Brien, because everyone jumped up, like, was it creeping in that far corner? Because that was like probably one of our best opportunities. But that, I think that's the bit of pace on the right and the quality in midfield on the ball, to me, just shone through. Because defensively, we were quite good.
We always are.
Yeah, got good. We got good defenders, really, and the goalkeeper's sound, obviously. And we do, the structure's quite good because we get back in, but it's on the ball. And I think Arsenal just showed that fantastic on the ball, and we're not. And that wasn't even a vintage Arsenal performance either. But so that's really where, and we know, and Moyes will know where the money has to be spent. But again, you look at it and you go, it's 2 defeats in 12. In the 2 games we've lost 1-0. And in both of them, you could argue we were a little bit unlucky to lose both of those games. So Moyes has done a great job. Hello to Gary and Juan. Liam says, brilliant to have the sun shining on these final games. Goodison in the sun beats Goodison at night. Best place in the world. Hopefully we hear something about the Southampton game.
Well, it's going to be a Monday, innit? Let's be honest.
I've heard.
Tuesday is the other one, innit? People talking about Tuesday now.
Yeah, it's Sunday at 7 o'clock.
Oh, that'd be good if that's. But
I don't know whether that's real.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd rather have that. Yeah,
that was what was going around.
I'd rather have that.
So last game of the week, like sort of the last thing.
No, I'd like that.
So if it's got to be changed, then 7 p.m. on the Sunday mightn't be. I mean, I'd rather it be 6 because I think it gives people longer afterwards as well. But and 6 would probably still be in the lovely sun as well when it starts. But 7 in May probably be all right. It can't be later on in the week. It's just nonsense.
No, I know.
Let's Be Having You says, afternoon people, decent result at the weekend. It was never a pen, and the game should be replayed as many times as it takes for Arsenal to take all 3 points, in my opinion.
That sounds fair.
Yeah, I think he's doubling down on that after yesterday's result at Craven Cottage. But on a serious note, looking at most performances under Moyes so far, it gives me hope that with a good summer window, there's no reason why we shouldn't be pushing for Europe in some sort of capacity next season. Might be getting ahead of myself.
You are getting ahead of yourself.
As the drop-off in quality this season could be an anomaly. But for most clubs, the PSR breaches the treatment of possible points deductions. It could be a levelling out playing field. Obviously, you've still got the likes of City and Chelsea, who are made of Teflon when it comes to PRS. But surely their day will come as well. If it carries on, I'm not convinced there is an anomaly this season. I think the quality isn't there. I think it's... for whatever.
Gary Neville had a say yesterday, didn't he?
Did he? I didn't.
Just said footballers are robots now, and there's no invention.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it?
No invention, so therefore...
And it's money as well, isn't it?
There's no invention. Players don't do anything. They're just standing in the same positions, and no one's willing to try something new.
That's it, though. But that's what we've seen, and this is why you look at it and you go, there is offers. It can't be a coincidence, right? I mean, have a look at the last 3 seasons we've had. Newcastle nearly go down, Newcastle get Champions League. Villa nearly go down, Villa get Champions League. Forest nearly go down, Forest get Champions League.
Forest came up. Newcastle came up. Villa came up.
Yeah, as well. Right? And all of that. And they've been able to get organised and get right back up to where the thing. Okay, they've made some good signings as well, but it's not just that. So there's obviously a bit of, it isn't as... that promised land isn't as far away as you think. But it's also not easy to jump it either. Them teams have done exceptionally well. But if you're looking at, obviously, 5 Champions League places, Europa League, Conference League, they're talking about, and if those teams win, there was a situation the other week where 11th in the Premier League could have got into Europe. Yeah. Now, just let's say, for most weeks, for most seasons, our teams will do well in the Champions League because of the money. They'll do well in the Europa League. They should always win the Conference League. My opinion will certainly run that close, given the teams who you're in it with. So most seasons, probably, Europe could go to 9th even. Yeah. And Everton could easily get into the realms of between 7 and 9th in a couple of... you've got to build and recruit, right? But you should always be in a race for that Conference League, a club like Everton, Conference Europa.
That's the only one I want to be in.
No, that's what I mean. Even if you're 10th, 11th. You still might be able to get, talking about Palace, who won at the weekend, watch that was a mad last 20 minutes of that game. Players sent off left, right and centre and things get cleared off the line, all sorts. But now they're saying Palace can get into Europe. But he was ahead of us the other week, like not far ahead. We were ahead of them. So that shows you where you can be right in it. So that Everton could be looking at that and go, well, we might with good recruitment. Could we get in there? Well, you never know, do you?
No, of course you don't, because the league we know. You'd have teams. Look at Bournemouth, right? Bournemouth been on a tremendous run, haven't they? And then it's starting to hit them now. So, and then you have Palace, who at times have looked up and down, and then they're going on a little late splurge, and there ain't that much between them. There ain't that much between them and Brighton, and it's like that's the way the Premier League is.
And they won the Bear Derby at the weekend.
Yeah, the motorway derby. You hit a run of form at the right time. Especially this time of year when there are so many dead rubbers. It's just becoming. I mean, it is about time. Look at Villa. Villa have timed it perfect. They had a little bit of a spell over Christmas where they'd stopped winning games. They brought in really clever signings or loan deals in January, and it's reinvigorated the squad. And now they've gone on a really good run. Without, they're in the Champions League quarterfinals, which will be tough. but they've gone on a really good run, and they've got a real opportunity to get Champions League again and get, you know, obviously they're going to have to be past Saint-Germain, and that'd be a really tall order. But it's it's all about timing your runs. It is a long season. It does take it out. I think that's one of the reasons why football is having a real sort of down moment. I think in general is that players all just look, and I think it's the big thing with City. Players look absolutely gassed. Like Kevin De Bruyne announcing his retirement. You got Modric playing in Spain till like he's 38. You know, he's still going. He's playing in the sun. He's loving it. Kevin De Bruyne, he'd probably end up in MLS or Saudi Arabia, where he should be in now, going, I'm going to change my position, going to play a bit deeper, all that. But it's like the Premier League's too much, and there's too many games, and there's been too many games for Man City. I think that's another issue that the Premier League faces, and we're going to have a rotating 26-team Premier League soon, where it's just 3 up, 3 down all the time, the same 3. And honestly, the only teams I can see breaking that cycle going forward is someone like a Birmingham City and like a Wrexham, who've got financial. And I don't mean I don't mean going for the Premier League. I mean breaking the cycle is coming up and going back down again. And then just going back down again. No. Because like
most of the other ones,
it'll be diminishing returns for like a Southampton if they don't sort of sort themselves out and have a proper plan. You know, Leeds have got like all their overheads, I imagine, of the ground and everything, like we have. It all gets tougher and tougher and tougher, and it might take someone new who, like, if Birmingham, I know they're trying to build their stadium, and probably Wrexham would come up this season, they'd probably announce they were developing the whole of their ground, I'd imagine. It will take one of them to go, we've got new money, fresh money coming from America, we'll have a go at this just to get into the Premier League. But at the moment, I just feel like it's going to be the same sort of 26 teams going up and down, and then because all we are at the moment, we've talked for ages about like a Premier League, no relegation Super League. It's what we're going to get soon. We're getting the same team. Now I don't know if that's going to go where people will go, that's fine then, we can have a go because we don't have to worry about relegation because the teams are coming up are so poor that we don't even have to worry about relegation. But for so long there's been 15, 16, whatever, 14 clubs going, we just don't want to be relegated. The existing in the Premier League is good enough for us.
Not good enough. Josh Oldfield says, I miss Skillerman and Ndiaye so much. So glad he's back now. Took his penalty very well. He did take his penalty very well. Adam says this will go down as one of the worst standard Premier League seasons in a very long time. If we had more in attack, we'd have won Saturday and potentially got something out of Derby as well. Such an important summer. We're not a million miles off these teams, so it's vital we get the recruitment right. Bill says, good day. Should we be worried that Moyes does not fancy Charlie and our links to Roll? He wants to sign a more physical number 10.
Why should we be worried?
No, because I think
if he's not good enough, he's not good enough.
But if there's an obligation, then he plays in every single
obligation's game. Start 9 games.
Oh, was it start?
He announced it.
Oh, have they done it
over the weekend? Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I don't know. But what about signing Alcaraz and Roll as well from Freiburg? Get them both. But we need better players. That's the way it is. Charlie's a good player. You know, maybe Moyes thinks get him to the summer. We'll work on him pre-season. You know, and then we go from there. Ian says, afternoon lads, it proves how short we are on quality in the side. We definitely need a goal scoring midfielder as well. Don't know what the stats are, but when did Garner score a goal? He only scored one for us.
Villa away last year in the cup, was it?
Bournemouth at home in the league. When he side-footed it in a day, that's the only Premier League goal.
That wasn't him.
James Garner, not Adrisha. Yeah, James Garner. I think he's only scored one Premier League goal for us. That was Bournemouth, and he did score in the cup at Villa with his left foot. I know Decore sometimes chips in, but a Lampard-style player would be a good start. I think everyone would be after a Lampard-style goal-scorer midfielder, wouldn't he? But you're right, we do need someone who can weigh in, who's got that bit of quality as well. Andrew says, hello lads, can't believe people in the media saying it wasn't a penalty. Really? No one ever wants to give us penalty. Yeah, it was a penalty. It was. You can say it's soft, but he impeded him. That's what you'd have to ask. Did he foul him? people will look at it and go, no, I thought it was a penalty. I thought he was caught. Jay says, post-Liverpool, this Tahi should be banned. Pickford's a disgrace, blah, blah. No mention of an offside goal. All I've heard post-Arsenal, soft pen, no pen, disgrace. Obsessed with Everton.
Well, he booked Jacob Brien for a VAR thing, which is not allowed.
Not allowed.
And then he blew the whistle early for the end of the game.
Yeah. And then got told and then apologised. He was poor. He was really poor, the referee. Yeah. Emma says, how's me new Bessie today? Did you meet Emma?
No.
Okay.
So if I do that, she's off.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, private joking, that's fine. Jake says, why on earth was play not stopped after 25 minutes for a drinks break on Saturday? It was roasting hot in the stands.
It wasn't that hot. It wasn't that hot. It just felt hot. It's got to be, isn't it got to be 28 degrees for a drinks break?
Yeah.
It wasn't that hot.
It was roasting.
It's only about 16 to 17. I think what it is when you get to this time of year, you feel like any sun is warm.
Yeah, they don't have drinks breaks until it's ridiculously hot, and you should have one. Arsenal just called their own drinks break. Everton Davies says, Baz, have you seen the football masters are back? Yeah, Ped sent me the thing the other day. I just feel like it was they were listening to us and went,
absolutely.
Let's do that again.
Let's do that again. We'll get us involved in it. We'll get involved in it.
Sorry, that's just gone off there. James Graham says, Neville said the league has suffered from inferior teams trying to play pep ball.
Yeah, I mean that's absolutely right, isn't it? Playing stupid arsing about with the ball and messing about with it at the back, and they can't do it.
I see it at like Brax level. It's like rolling there. It's embarrassing. It's just like what these coaches who think they're like Pep Guardiola. It's like you don't go anywhere with the ball. It's nonsense. Then you go and put them under pressure, just hoof it anyway.
They're making the kids the players of the future was.
Yeah, of course they are. Making lads who can go and do academy football for a year and then realise that it's not actual football. It's embarrassing. I hate it when Everton do it because it's pathetic. We do it and it goes back to Pickford who just hoofs it anyway. It's like, you could have just done that anyway.
It's embarrassing.
But it is though, isn't it? You know, if you're doing it because you've got the best players who are clever enough to play round it, then okay, whatever. But the point of it is to score goals and win games. The point of football. Arsenal, I think they broke our press once on Saturday in the first half. That was it. Knocking it round, it goes back, and in the end up, someone just kicks it in the air. It's like, what are you like? Where are you going with the ball? You know, surely you mick. But I don't know. You know, but they've got really good players, so it's like I don't understand why everybody else is trying to do it. Be your own person.
Be your man.
Or woman.
Cat.
James says, would have loved to have got Elanga. Do you think he'd have come if Moyes was in charge? Yeah, of course he would have. Semi-Charmlife says, with the goals, it's not like I'm calling for us to score 10 a match. Just too many times where we'll find them. One or more goal would make the difference. It would. But the last couple of games, we haven't had anywhere near the amount of attempts we had previously. No. And obviously, we played first and second in the league, so you sort of accept that. But on Saturday, I just felt like we could have had more attempts at goal. There was times when we had the opportunity to get shots away and we went sideways or we turned back, and it's like, that's how you get the crowd going. It's how you make the opposition feel like they're under a bit of pressure. Yeah. Just passing it side to side. Don't know. Andy says Tim will be suffering because in training he's playing up against the rest of our midfield. Bet he gets loads of time on the ball. You know what? This is something me and you've said before. Yeah. Like when you're trying to do certain things and you're up against slow players in training, that's not real. When the Premier League's full of quick players, so yeah, maybe he gets a bit more time. Maybe he needs to play him against Ghana. We don't get any time. But we do need to buy the pace, don't we? It's absolutely massive. Semi-Charmlife said the Southampton game. Southampton already got. Oh, yeah, went yesterday. First team, aren't they?
Yeah, they're the first team who've been relegated with 7 games to go. Even Derby, they could finish with more points than Derby, but they got relegated before Derby.
Yeah.
Which is mad, isn't it? They're just woeful.
The fans were good though, weren't they? They were all still there at the end, and it's like, you know, imagine having to see that all season.
Mm. You can say, well, what do you expect? But at the end of the day, they can only judge how much fight and... But listen, Sean gave them a lovely day. Let's never forget.
He did.
Sean gave them a lovely day.
Great day. When you look at that, not the thingy, what was the point in getting rid of Russell Martin?
There wasn't any, but at the same time, we can say that they appointed a terrible manager. They had a manager who was young and idealistic, and it was never going to work, and they replaced him by bringing in someone who'd never been in the Premier League, had just been sacked by Roma, and that's a worse decision. Yeah. If you're going to do that, bring an Arlas in. Bring a Premier League Arlas in. Go and get Allardyce.
So, but the thing was, if they're accepting, did they believe they could stay up? That's the real thing, isn't it? If they
did, but the fans got... See, if it wasn't the fans, I think they would have... But the fans were kicking off because
no, sorry, I didn't mean that. What I mean is, if did their club believe they could stay up with what they had? Forget about Russell Martin for a minute. Yeah. He brought them up. He played really good football, and he did. Coached really well, but ultimately you need to get results. And he said that himself, didn't he? He'd do it slightly differently. And I've got no issue with replacing Russell Martin.
Feels like you do have an issue with...
No, if that's what they were doing. But what I mean is, the Juric appointment made no sense because, like you said, he's just been sacked by Rome. He's never been in the Premier League. Did they believe when they brought him in, he could keep them up?
Well, if they
no one else did.
If they did, then I want whatever they're on. Because they should have appointed some kind of Arlas who... Or go and get like... a proper replacement.
You know, that's what I mean. That's where my head would be like. If you look and go, I think we're probably not going to stay up. But can we go and get another positive coach who is going to start building? Yeah. And we'll have a right good go with it. But if it doesn't work, we're in good hands to carry on there. Do you know what I mean? And explain that to the crowd. And all that. Where they haven't, they've gone with him and nothing's changed. They're no better. In fact, they're playing worse football than they were.
Well, they've sacked him, haven't they? So they've sacked him, so they're going to have to go again. So why didn't you go again then, knowing that you had very little chance?
Mad. Bit mad. Michael Barnes' thoughts on Yuri Alberto. Looks good. Scored a lot of goals in Brazil, hasn't he? Looks decent, yeah. No, Arsenal will link with him as well. 23, is he? 23-year-old striker. So... he does look decent, like. Carl says Luton look like they're getting relegated 2 years in a row.
Took a point off Leeds, though, at the weekend, didn't he?
Sheffield United got beat, didn't he?
At some point, James, you're going to crack this.
That looks miles better because you can see it. Oh, say.
We are in dialogue, working the problem.
No, that's good. Yeah. Sean Collins says Nonto starter for Leeds and had a stinker. Yeah, Neuer got bad injury, didn't he?
He's done.
7 minutes.
Done.
Is it ACL?
It's ACL. The Leon Everton connection, mate. It's been an absolute stinker this season, hasn't it?
Yeah.
They've got two in the treatment table.
Good.
Once Everton has touched you, your ACL will never be the same again. That's what they say.
Fletcher says, good afternoon, fellas. Got a nice little tax rebate today at £200. Can't wait to see how McNeil performs under Moyes.
Whatever. Why are people obsessed with McNeil?
No, it's all right.
We've just sat there talking about players with no pace.
Let's excited. Mourinho and
fair
play. Mate. I actually, to be fair, I'm interested to see how McNeil does under him.
Fair enough.
Like, where's he gonna? Is he gonna put him on the left?
He might be able to take set pieces, which nobody else seems to be able to take, which is fair.
Set pieces are shockers, absolutely shockers. Danny Church says Rafa to Southampton. It'd be funny. Has he been linked? Has he? Sean Dyche to Southampton.
No,
he wouldn't go there, would he? Fletcher says, hard to believe Southampton had Pochettino in charge just a few years ago. Well, it was about 12 years ago, wasn't it? But 11 years ago. But yeah. Yeah. It is mad, isn't it? It is mad. Fletcher says, yeah, set pieces.
Yeah, but you can't rely on set pieces, can you? You need an overall way of playing football, and I'm afraid we need pace in our team. And anyone who's anyone who's slow needs to go out of our team. I'm sorry, that's just a fact. That's all of them.
Yeah. Jonathan said, we didn't look good at the weekend. We didn't look balanced, and Ndiaye looked tired, which is expected. I think it's time to try new things now. We at least he made a few changes Saturday, didn't he? Well, I know Patterson was forced because Michalenko was out.
But he didn't put Ashley Young in.
He could have put Young in, couldn't he?
So that's a start, isn't it?
Put Irabunum in for James Garner. He tried that, didn't he? Obviously brought Ndiaye back. So I think he will have a look over he's not stupid, Moyes. He'll have a look at what he's got and what he thinks he can work in there. And, I think probably Beto will probably come out of the side soon, I imagine, and Brien will be put in. And maybe Chimiti. He'll have a little go. And he'll just have a look at what it looks like with that. Jake says, any news on the plans for the last game?
No,
nothing, is there, so far? Brien says, don't get the hate for playing it out from the back. You're more likely to keep hold of it than just booting it long. Okay, it lands back with the keeper and if there's nothing on, or you can't break the press. But a lot of our best moves come from moving it through the thirds. Go and actually watch it though, Brien. We don't. That might happen twice a game. More often than not, we get it and web it forward in the end. And it comes back anyway, and I see the best teams doing it. I'm not saying never ever do it. What I'm saying is...
Feels like it.
No, I'm not. But everything is always best when it's a mix. I'm saying when you start passing it round, when you know where it's going.
I think what you're saying is that teams who aren't good enough have no right to do it.
Because it's false. You go, it looks good. Go and actually distill it down to what... And I'm not saying Jordan Pickford should just whack it up to Beto either. I'm saying there has to be there's got to be a strategy behind it. Like, you've got to have a midfield player who can... Yeah, you can get somebody drop in as a 6 and play an angle and then play around it, but that's very rarely do we do that. If we had better players, maybe it'd work better if you had a flying fullbacks getting on the outside to create passing lanes, as they say. But if you actually watch what Everton do, we don't do it. And I was watching Arsenal do it at the weekend, and it didn't really go anywhere. They ended up just passing it side to side, side to side, side to side, which is what will happen anyway. So, and they're one of the best teams at doing it. So it isn't the be all and end all. I think the problem is everyone thinks that's the way to play football now. It's the only way to play it, and it's not. Clearly it isn't. So, how often do Villa do it? And Forest.
Well, it's when you see...
They mix it. They all mix it.
When you see bang average teams trying to do it and they're getting caught.
Yeah, but I'm talking about good sides. Even good sides don't. City do it, obviously. It's the way they play. But a mix of the two, I think, is almost perfect. Because, yeah, it isn't always a long ball. But my problem is, if we played it and went through the pitch, I'd go, fair enough. We don't do that. But we don't. We play it, and it goes back to Pickford, and he just kicks it anyway. And more often than not, it doesn't go as far as if he just kicked it from a goal kick. That to me is pointless. But a hybrid of everything, I think, is always the best way.
Mix it anyway, haven't you? Man City were always very good at that, mixing it. Dragging players in to the space and then thinking over using the goalie.
Yeah. Edison had always, it'd go long, wouldn't it? As in, not long as in just hopeless, but throw them and drop it over the top and off you go. But ultimately, no matter what we do, no matter whether we kick it long or whether we pass it out from the back, we need to get better players, don't we, as well? So, let's see. Fletcher says Paul McCartney's meant to be performing for the last game.
This is the rumour, isn't it? But, well, I say this is the rumour. This is the rumour if you're on, like, Facebook.
Where is he performing? At Goodison?
Apparently so.
Fair play.
It's been spotted on County Road.
No, well, fair play. That'd be unbelievable.
He was bound by James's. He was looking for a bin. He couldn't find one anyway. He was like...
But imagine, don't say. Imagine. Bins. If it was, it'd be incredible, wouldn't it? But
it's literally what he said. There's no bins.
Danny Chase
There's no bins.
Says,
There's no bins.
Oh, yeah. No, Danny says it. We should hear this week about the last game of the season against Southampton. Hopefully not Monday, as I'm off to Benidorm that day.
Oh.
Sunday, 2 p.m. 2 p.m. 2 p.m.
Sunday, top of ham.
2 p.m. 2 p.m. Emma says there's a ballot for the last game for us non-season ticket biffs. Who's a non-season ticket biff?
So what I said, so Emma's been my mate now, because I did sort of, I said to her on
I think you need to be Emma's mate.
No.
Harsh to Emma.
No. I said to Emma that if we hear of a spare, we'll give it to her.
Okay.
That's so.
Do you hear of spares? The only spares I hear of, you can't call them spares, I don't think. Or can you call them spares? You just can't call them Tottenham. Emma says no bins, but Billy Ocean.
When the going gets tough, the tough get bins.
Emma cuts through it. Dave Tamler says we must be doing well, not a peep out of Mopai. Yeah, he's snuck off somewhere, isn't he? Strength and Honour says we do seem to be better playing the second ball sometimes. I think it's just because we haven't got good enough midfield play. Not that those lads aren't good. What I mean is, for what you're trying to do with the ball, got to have someone who can put his foot on it and almost dictate it. We don't have that. Got lads who will work the socks off in midfield for you and go and break up the play. There's not. We need that one person in there who's got that little bit of quality. You see, when Newcastle got like Gameres and people like that, and you know, to be fair, Moyes got Paqueta, didn't he? And he's had times when he's sort of done that for West Ham a little bit. Arsenal had 3. He were very good at it.
Yeah.
At the weekend, Liverpool I've got players who can keep the ball. City,
it's just the way it is, isn't it? You need good players.
That's what you need. It's exactly what you need. Gavin says the central position is a problem. Decore, Ghana, Tim. Bob says I've got a ticket in the away end for the first time in 50 years for the Southampton game.
Okay. Can't dispute that.
Celtic Vape says heard Ned will be appearing with Mache. Imagine if Ned just somehow, like Paul McCartney said, and Ned conned his way on. Ned was like a supporter, opened up for McCartney.
Why would
3 songs? Be great though, wouldn't it? Nathan Hamlin says bring Baines on in the final game.
I thought you meant with Paul McCartney.
I mean, why not? He's looked like a Beatle at times, hasn't he?
Plays the guitar. Good times.
Imagine bringing Baines on.
Bring our Fab Four on. Schenk. Rooney. Selassie.
And Theo. Semi-Charm Life YouTube member says, had some big moments for us, but truly believe now Decore's time at the club has expired.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
He said himself, didn't he? Didn't he say on thing? He said, I'm playing me, like, enjoying me last few games. It could
fair play to you.
So, and P. Macher, I don't think it's Paul McCartney, says McCartney playing the Southampton game. Can he play on the right wing?
Do you think Everton won it on a Monday night just so no Southampton fans come, and it's just a clever way of getting 3,000 extra tickets?
I don't think Southampton are taking the full 3.
Well, he won't, will he? But they might want them to not take any. And I think that's fair enough. How, if you're a Southampton fan, why would you want to travel to Goodison on a Monday night to watch your team who've already been relegated? Why would you do that to yourself?
I mean, Imran Transom 78 says, great chance to wave farewell to Goodison by playing Southampton in the last game. I reckon we'll go out in style and put 7 or 8 past them.
I don't think we will.
1-0.
We can't score
Grind
goals.
Out.
We literally can't score goals. We're actually on course, maybe, for the 41 points that I predicted at the beginning of the season.
Very good.
Because I said we couldn't score goals.
You also had us relegated in about September.
Science.
It'd be. Chimity might come on and get 8 though.
He won't.
Never know.
He won't.
Have keep the faith, Pet. Why?
It's not about
why
keeping
you
the faith.
writing Chimity?
I'm just saying he won't.
Poor James, don't like Chim.
Doesn't like Schmitty.
I love Schmitty. I've always liked Schmitty.
James throwing.
James just doesn't know.
Where's Calvert-Lewin?
I do prefer Calvert-Lewin because he's a better player.
Let's not go there. Let's not do this on a Monday in April. Let's not do it. Right, we're going. Well done. I mean, I was hoping that we would be at 98.6 by the time you finish this stream.
James, put that thing
There's
on.
only 7 of you needing to. And,
James,
you know,
I've just sent you I've just sent you basically what is the final product.
I didn't know you sent me.
No, I've just sent you it. Get it on the screen. We've been working this problem all the way through this show.
Okay, we'll hang on for 4 more minutes while James gets
James
the
should have had
final
this sorted. It's disappointing that he hasn't. It's not like he got anything else to do. It's like literally 2 clicks.
Gavin Cunningham says, why not one defensive midfielder with Armstrong and Alcaraz in front of them next season?
Because we'd be relegated. Because we just don't have the play. We don't have the pace. We don't have the pace in transition to do that. We're too slow. It's about the whole system. You can't play. Number one, you can't play the player unless he's really good. That's what you need like an Onana for. That's what Onana players are becoming. That's why Villa bought him. So you can have that one player who just sits and is the defensive thing. It doesn't mean Onana's the solution to Villa either, but that's the kind of player that you have now. You have one of them, you have a ball player, and you have someone who supports. But you need pace. You have to have pace all around. We spoke about this on Thursday after the derby, isn't it? You've got to have those players in midfield have got to have an outball, and that means pace. And if you've got players, cloggers on the wing who you've got to have it.
No, James, no. Don't like that.
That's tremendous.
Oh, yeah, I like that. No, it's all right. It was
what?
No. That is tremendous.
The other one?
No, it come up all blue. I was like, I can't see. Yeah. No, you're right. You need pace wide.
Everywhere.
You need pace to break, and you need a thing, but yeah. Carl Byron says, Chimity, Mitt, bang, bang, we love you. Why wouldn't he?
Okay.
Why wouldn't he? Ian Murphy, YouTube member, says, more to the point, lads, what happens first? Everton getting Moisey's target points, or Toffee TV getting the 100,000 subs?
I think we'll get the good points, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's just lazy. Because I
think everyone watching now is a subscriber.
Oh, do you?
I think so.
Okay.
There's
no way you'd sit there, would you?
How would you live with yourself? How would you live with yourself watching this quality entertainment for free? Where just now and again adverts pop up, now and again, not very often.
And all you'd have to do is go bang on a button, and 1 second later you've done your job. As if you wouldn't do that. That's almost like, I couldn't see it. I couldn't see.
Couldn't live with myself.
No, I couldn't see people who've got loads of integrity and can look at themselves in the mirror, not go and bing on a button when it takes.
How could they look into the face of their children and know they're bringing them up?
Or the pets.
They're bringing them up the right way if they're just not doing them themselves.
But what about the ones who don't have children but want to look at the family members in the mirror?
They have mirrors that you have to look at. And when they look at each other in the mirror,
the family member walks in and they look at the mirror to bounce it.
And when they look in the mirror, they see the child inside themselves. How do they look at that person and believe they're on the right path?
Danny Church says, come on, people, 7 more. That's all it is to do it. That's Danny. And Danny's a YouTube member. And do it for Danny.
People are unsubbing like knobheads.
Well, that's fair. I don't mind that. I don't mind it.
People are unsubbing because they're knobheads.
No, don't.
Like the ring go up and down.
Let them.
Knobheads. So that's only for those people, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go. Right.
I will take my shoe off and I will throw it at you.
I wouldn't do that.
If I found out who it was. That's my particular set of skills. Shoe throwing.
Wish she's a YouTube member says, too many draws are not ideal, but I'll take it over waking up in the middle of the night in a sweat, having nightmares about being relegated. Yeah,
no one wants that, do they? No, save that for like the global, meltdown that's about to happen due to, financial stuff. That's fine. But, Everton in April with points and stuff, that's a different thing. So
Ganymede 7 says pace alone can keep you in the league like Palace and Bournemouth. We need legends. Just so YouTube member, but yeah. So there you go. Let's do it. Right. Let's do it. We give people a chance. They haven't done it, so we're going. Take it easy. See you later. Bye.